Hello, this is a little tutorial about the fix for the UV unwrapping, the UV unfolding of different sphere-shaped objects in Maya. So the first thing you want to do is just prove that it works. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a very specific sphere here with 9 axis divisions and 9 height divisions. When I do that, I bring up the UV editor, and the things I want to check at this point are that I'm dividing very specific areas. So I try not to double click this because it goes into areas I don't need. But if you do double click it, that's fine as long as you unselect things that you don't want to be cutting. And remember that the middle equator here, this row should not be touched. So however you get there is up to you. You can select these edges here, skip, select these edges, same thing here, or double click as I did and then shift unselect, but make sure that this is not selected here. This row of polygons stays untouched with edge selection. Then I go to the splitting, not cutting, but splitting, and you can see by the larger, bolder outlines here, I've successfully cut these. Now just to replicate the creation of the phantasm ball's particular sphere, what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the sort of fence posts spikes and I'm merging them all together, and I can do so by coming up here to cut so and then so, but also remember that these have shortcuts. So instead of sewing, I'm going to be doing Shift S and grabbing 2 at a time, effectively grabbing the W here, which is between the 2 edges. See that? So here's a W here, and I can hit Shift S, do the same thing here, and I'm grabbing them both. So this is a very expedient way of just getting to simulate the setup so that we can prove whether or not things work. Now from here I'm going to go to UV selection. Very important that I'm in UV selection. I'm going to grab the top and I'm going to avoid this row and this row. The same row that we did not do any cuts on is the same row I leave alone. Just leave it all alone. So all the UVs from the top fence post down to this level right here, I want to leave these 2 lines, these 2 edges alone. And now I go to modify and I can go to unfold. But one of the problems we're having sometimes is this goes crazy. So what I've been told is go to Windows, Settings, Preferences, go to your plugin manager, and you want to check to see that you've got the unfold plugin checked in, Unfold 3D. Sometimes this is checked off. Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually clicking this off and then turning it back on again just to kind of reset. Then I'm going to close, and just as a measure of safety, you should at this point save scene as. The other fix I've found is that when you save this scene and it goes crazy, sometimes you can save it, restart Maya, and bring it back in and it will behave. So I've already done that and I can do it again here. We've got Sphere UV's Maya. There we go. So if this doesn't work, this allows me a very easy way of coming up here to new scene, reading it in, trying it again. If that doesn't work, restarting Maya and reading it in again, seeing if that works. But right here, I'm going to go to Reset Settings and simply click on Legacy, and it works perfectly. So let me know if you're having problems with that. That's the way things should work, as well as the idea of restarting Maya, reading this in, and seeing if it works that way. But be very careful about what you select, because a lot of times it's that students have not actually selected the upper part, or they have this area selected, and it starts curling and acting very silly. Okay, and